Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are really digging into something significant, the first 100 days of President Trump's second term, based on what we knew as of April 30th, 2025.
Yeah, it's been quite a period, a real whirlwind of activity documented in the sources we have.
Absolutely. And the big question floating around seems to be, is this the start of something new, maybe prosperous, or is it pushing boundaries, maybe even towards a constitutional stress test?
That's the core tension, definitely.
So our goal here is to just cut through all that noise, pull out the key developments from these first 100 days, and try to understand what they might actually mean, sort of a quick guide to getting up to speed.
And a first thing that just jumps out is the sheer number of executive orders.
144.
144,
Yeah.
that's huge, right? More than FDR.
Exactly. It surpasses Roosevelt's record for that period. It really signals a clear strategy. Act fast, act directly, maybe bypass Congress where possible.
Okay, so let's break that down. Where did these orders hit? Immigration seems like a major focus. Oh, definitely. You've got the Lake and Riley Act that's about detaining certain immigrants charged with crimes,
Right.
and then blocking asylum seekers at the border and kicking off these, well, large-scale deportation efforts. It's a very different approach.
A much harder line, it sounds like. Fulfilling campaign promises, I suppose.
That seems to be the driver. The speed and scale. It suggests a real determination to reshape immigration policy fast.
And what about government itself? There was this DOGE thing?
Right. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, led by Elon Musk, which is interesting in itself.
Yeah.
And its mandate is pretty stark. Slash federal spending, cut staff numbers. It's like applying private sector, maybe textile efficiency ideas to the federal bureaucracy.
Which, raises questions. Can you cut that deep and still have agencies function effectively?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? There's a potential trade-off there between saving money and, well, actually delivering services. We'll have to watch how that plays out.
Then there's the cultural side. Rolling back policies on gender identity, DEI.
Uh-huh. Diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives.
Right. And shifting public school money towards private school vouchers. These feel like really core social issues.
They absolutely are. These actions point to a deliberate shift in cultural and educational priorities, trying to reshape norms and how resources are used in those areas. The long-term impact could be, well, pretty profound and certainly contested.
Foreign policy hasn't been quiet either. Pulling out of the WHO, the Paris Climate Accords, again.
Yes, a repeat of previous actions. Plus, imposing broad tariffs and even some pretty controversial talk about Greenland and the Panama Canal.
It sounds very much like the America First doctrine in action.
It does. The pattern seems to be prioritizing a specific definition of U.S. interests, even if that means withdrawing from international agreements or potentially straining relationships with allies.
Okay, let's talk economy. This trade policies, the tariffs especially, 10% on almost everyone, over 30 on China and Switzerland.
Very aggressive, yes. And the reported impact, at least initially, was that big stock market downturn. Over $6 trillion in value gone.
Wow. Now, the administration's argument is protecting American jobs, right?
That's the stated rationale, yes. Bolstering domestic industry and employment.
But the counter argument?
Is that it destabilizes markets, raises costs for businesses and consumers, risks trade wars, and generally strains international economic ties. It's a high-stakes approach.
And beyond the executive orders on immigration, there were other moves too.
Yeah, designating drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, that's a significant step.
Huge implications for how you can act against them.
Exactly. And exploring ways to potentially end birthright citizenship. That touches on the 14th Amendment. Highly controversial, legally complex.
So these aren't small changes, they're fundamental shifts.
Precisely. And they almost guarantee legal challenges and intense public debate.
Which leads to the public reaction. Seems like it's split right down the middle.
Extremely polarized, based on the reporting. You've got strong support from those who see decisive action, promises kept. They like the leadership style.
And on the other side.
Deep concern.
Yeah.
Worries about the concentration of executive power, potential damage to democratic norms, the speed and disruption of it all.
So wrapping up these first 100 days, it's been a period of, well, unprecedented executive action, major economic shifts driven by trade policy, a really strict immigration crackdown, and a nation seemingly more divided than ever.
That sums it up well. The sheer volume and speed of change is remarkable.
And it brings us back to that central question from the sources.
Right.
What does this all mean long-term for American democracy, for its institutions?
That's the question we're left with. The long-term effects on the economy, society, our place in the world. It's all unfolding.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. With all these rapid changes across so many areas, the economy, immigration, foreign policy, government itself, which single area do you think will leave the most lasting mark on the country? And what other questions does this quick look at the first 100 days race for you about what comes next? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.